Hello again. Today we are going to practice spelling some tricky words and we're going to be seeing double because when we spell them we're actually going to be using two felt tip pens which are taped together. So you need to make sure you've got that and some paper before you start watching the video. So the first word you're going to have a go at writing on your paper is the tricky word Mr. So it's probably easiest to hold your pencil, or your pen, sorry, this way round. So you've got the two next to each other as you do your writing. So you have a go at writing Mr. And if you need a bit more time, pause the video. So let's see if you were right. When we write Mr, it's usually somebody's name. So it could be Mr. Smith. So we need to start with a capital letter. And when we write Mr, we should really be writing M-I-S-T. But actually, we're quite lazy and we just write the first letter and the last letter. So we're going to write capital M, and then at the end of mist there would be an R. So if you spelt that right, fantastic, give yourself a point. And we're going to move on to the next one. Now the next one is nearly the same. It's the tricky word Mrs. So you have a go at writing Mrs. If you need a bit more time, pause the video. Right, let's have a look and see if you got it right. Now Mrs. is nearly the same as the spelling of Mr. It's actually short for the word mistress. So we're using the first sound, one of the middle sounds, and at the end of mistress or Mrs, you can hear a s sound. So we're just going to add the s onto the end. So we've got Mrs. Here's your next word. The next word is people. You have a go at spelling people. If you need a bit more time, then pause the video. Let's see if you're right. Now, my class used to know a little rhyme that used to help them spelling people, and it went like this. People eat oranges, penguins lay eggs. People eat oranges, penguins lay eggs. People. So if you got that one right, fantastic. Give yourselves a point. Here's your next word. The next one is the word oh. So let's imagine you were saying something like, oh, help. How would you write oh? Have a try. If you need a bit more time, pause the video. So when we're writing oh, I always think of the phrase, oh, help, because that's how we write it. We literally write oh and for help. Oh, help spells oh. Here's your next word. You have a try at writing there. Now we don't want over there. We want there as in their hat or their bag or their things. That's the there that we need. So you have a try at writing that one. If you need a bit more time, pause the video. Now you might already know how to spell the there that's over there, because you probably learnt that one before. So if we practice writing that one, that's the over there one. When it's their things, you start with the same two letters. In fact, the same three letters. But what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that E and we're going to put a letter I in here. And I always think this looks a little bit like a person with a little head on the top of their body. And that helps me to remember that when it's their stuff, there's a little person that helps us to remember that it's their things. So if you got that spelling of their right, give yourself a point. And here's your next word. The next one is looked. It's got a tricky bit, so be careful. You might want to do look first and then think about adding the t on the end. If you need a bit more time, then pause the video. Okay, so let's do look first. If we sound out look, we have l, k, look. Now in looked, it sounds like there is a t on the end, but we have to remember that if we're talking about a verb, so that might be something you can do, so you can look. If it's a verb that we have already done, if we looked somewhere a minute ago, it isn't usually a t on the end. Most verbs, when you have done something, most of them have an ed on the end, even if it doesn't sound like it. So that's the tricky bit, because these two are making a t sound in looked. Right, if you got that right, give yourself a point. Here's your next one. The next word is called. So I would suggest you do call first. You probably already know how to write the tricky word all. So if you have k and then the tricky word all to make call, and then we're going to turn it into called. If you need a bit more time, then pause the video. So let's have a go. So we're going to write k and then the tricky word all. K, all. Now again, it's a verb. It's something that you can do. If you called somebody on the phone, that was something you did. So call, it sounds like it's just a d. It's trying to play a trick on you, but it's actually E, D, just like we had on the end of looked, because that's something you can do as well. You looked, you called. And your very last word, if you got that one right, give yourself a point, and this is your last word. Your last word is asked. Let's see if you got that one right. So we're going to try ask first. So in ask, I can hear ask. So after my R, there are two sounds. When you hear an R with two sounds afterwards, it is usually just an A. So if we're doing ask, we've got R, S, K. And some people say ask, 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 or ask, ask. Different people say it in different ways. So if we change ask into asked, that's a verb. That's something you can do. So if you have already asked somebody something, again, it's that ED playing a little bit of a trick on you. They sound like t, but it is ED again. So you've actually just written 3 verbs, which are things that people have done. They have called, asked, and looked. So they've all got ED on the end. Sometimes that's making a t sound and sometimes it's making a d sound. So that tries to catch you out. So all together, we have written 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words. So that was a total of 8 points you could have got. See how well you did. If there was some that you need to practice again, that's fine. Play the video again another time. You might want to change your felt tips over so you get some different coloured words next time round. The more times you practice it, the better your score will get. Enjoy!